And now security is going to have a conversation with that gentleman.
Janae Ogumake, listen to what she had to say. As far as Alyssa Thomas goes, you are a wonderful, wonderful woman. You are fabulous, and thank you for bringing up this subject. Because if you are Caitlin Clark fans, there's no room for any kind of racism. Now, I'm not calling everybody racist. I'm not calling most folks. But the few who are, you know who the hell you are. Calm the hell down. Support Caitlin Clark, because recognize that when you act that way, you stain her name as well because of your association to her. Not that anybody would think that she thinks like that. But the point is, what is your problem?
Stephen A. Smith has never been one to shy away from speaking his mind. And in a recent broadcast, he did just that when he took on an unexpected issue involving a Connecticut Sun fan, Caitlin Clark and Teresa Weatherspoon. It was a moment of entertainment gold for his fans, but a serious situation underneath it all. Smith, known for his rapid-fire commentary and trademark exclamations, exposed the disrespect shown toward the women's game and its athletes, calling out the toxic behavior that, unfortunately, still pervades the sports world. But as Smith himself might say, oh, the audacity. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. At the heart of the drama was a Connecticut Sun fan who, during a heated exchange, crossed the line by targeting Caitlin Clark, a college basketball star known for her dominant performances and unapologetic attitude on the court. This wasn't just a harmless jab. The fan's attack was laced with aggression, setting off alarm bells for everyone watching. Clark has developed thick skin, of course, she has to, given her meteoric rise in college basketball. But even the toughest athletes deserve a baseline of respect, and Stephen A. knew this better than most. He didn't mince words as he laid it all out on his show. Stephen A. saw this incident as part of a broader issue in sports, specifically in women's sports, where athletes often face unwarranted criticism that goes far beyond their performance. For him, this wasn't just about a single incident in one game, but a recurring theme of how women athletes are treated compared to their male counterparts. Smith, always ready to shift gears and amplify important conversations, used his platform to talk about the unfairness in the way athletes like Caitlin Clark are treated, despite their extraordinary talent. Smith's delivery was classic Stephen A., part outrage, part comedic rant. He's got a way of making the serious stuff feel digestible without undermining its importance. So while he threw some jabs at the ridiculousness of the situation, there was no mistaking the weight of what he was talking about. As he paced back and forth on the set, likely gesturing wildly in typical Stephen A. fashion, he painted a picture that wasn't pretty, calling out how female athletes are sometimes subjected to a level of scrutiny or disrespect that, if directed at their male counterparts, would spark immediate backlash. But Stephen A. wasn't done yet. In his signature style, he roped in another big headline: Teresa Weatherspoon's firing. It was the cherry on top of an already volatile discussion. Weatherspoon, a Hall of Famer and one of the most respected names in basketball, was let go from her coaching position with the New Orleans Pelicans. This sudden decision shocked fans and insiders alike. Weatherspoon had been praised for her work with the Pelicans, known for her leadership and passion. But like many things in professional sports, success doesn't always guarantee job security. Smith saw an opportunity to tie these two events together, both in his view, reflective of a larger issue. He didn't hold back when discussing how women's contributions in sports, whether as players or coaches, are often undervalued. For Stephen A., the firing of Teresa Weatherspoon was a slap in the face to someone who had given everything to the game and excelled at it. He didn't shy away from questioning the Pelicans' front office, hinting at some backroom politics that could have played a role in Weatherspoon's dismissal. Of course, in true Stephen A. fashion, he delivered this with flair, raising an eyebrow and all, but daring anyone to disagree with him. As usual, his delivery was a blend of passion and humor. Smith's ability to make even the most serious situations feel like a round of verbal sparring on live television is unmatched. While fans of the show might tune in for his often exaggerated reactions and fiery takes, underneath the theatrics, Smith's insights into the world of sports are sharp and usually on point. His takedown of the situation was a reminder that he's always willing to call out what he sees as wrong, no matter who's involved. The incident with the Connecticut Sun fan and Caitlin Clark was, in many ways, a reflection of the lingering disrespect some sports fans have for women's sports. Clark, a standout performer, should have been celebrated, not attacked. The fact that a fan went out of their way to heckle her in such an aggressive manner speaks to a deeper problem within fan culture. Stephen A., ever the advocate for calling things as they are, brought that to the forefront, highlighting how incidents like these don't just harm athletes, but undermine the integrity of the sport. And then there was Teresa Weatherspoon's firing. It raised questions, not just about what had happened behind closed doors, but about how female coaches are treated in the NBA. Weatherspoon was widely seen as a rising star in the coaching world, respected not just by players but by peers across the league. So her sudden departure, especially after her successful tenure, struck many as odd. Smith, smelling something fishy, didn't hesitate to speculate, as he often does, that perhaps this wasn't just about performance. As usual, his rant was equal parts informative and entertaining. But if there's one thing Stephen A. is known for, it's his ability to turn a serious point into a humorous, yet cutting, critique. Whether it's through his exaggerated hand gestures, his wide-eyed disbelief, or his signature phrase, "You've got to be kidding me," Stephen A. has a knack for drawing people in, even when he's dissecting topics that are less than pleasant. In this instance, his blend of humor and hard-hitting analysis made for a broadcast that was both engaging and eye-opening. This whole episode, from Caitlin Clark's mistreatment to Teresa Weatherspoon's ousting, show that despite progress in women's sports, there's still a long way to go. Female athletes and coaches, no matter how talented or successful, are often subjected to a level of scrutiny that male counterparts rarely face. Stephen A. Smith, always ready to take on these kinds of issues, brought his usual gusto to the discussion, ensuring that the topic wasn't swept under the rug. In sports as in life, there are often layers to every story, and Smith peeled them back with his usual mix of humor and insight. What started as a critique of one fan's poor behavior quickly became a broader conversation about respect and equity in sports. Teresa Weatherspoon's firing, Caitlin Clark's harassment, and the treatment of women in sports were all intertwined in Stephen A.'s mind, and he made sure his audience saw it that way too. While his commentary was filled with his signature bravado, the message beneath was clear. There's still work to be done to ensure that female athletes and coaches get the respect they deserve. The significance of Smith's expose on these two incidents lies in his ability to take a moment of disrespect, a fan's aggressive behavior, and a coach's sudden firing, and use it as a platform to discuss the wider challenges facing women in sports. Stephen A., in his usual way, was both entertaining and incisive, cutting through the noise and giving voice to those who too often go unheard. For fans of the show, it was classic Stephen A. Loud, impassioned, and above all, unapologetically himself. And while some might have tuned in for the laughs or the drama, they left with a reminder that the fight for respect in sports is far from over. Stephen A. Smith's approach to this particular episode showcases why he's remained a dominant figure in sports media for so long. His ability to shift seamlessly between levity and seriousness allows him to tackle complex subjects without losing his audience's attention. Whether he's railing against a fan's bad behavior or questioning a front office decision, Smith always knows how to keep his viewers engaged. But what really stands out is how he uses his platform to elevate important conversations, especially about the treatment of women in sports, without ever sounding like he's preaching. For those watching, it was a reminder of why Stephen A. remains such a beloved figure in the sports world. His ability to turn a headline into a larger narrative, filled with twists, turns, and a little humor along the way, is unmatched. And while the stories of Caitlin Clark and Teresa Weatherspoon may have sparked his latest tirade, the real takeaway was something much bigger, a call for fairness, respect, and acknowledgement of the work still left to be done in sports. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.